welcome to the Bride Guide 101 with Gemma and Jade in Kidderminster at our bridal shop. So today we have our travel expert Kerry with us to discuss things from honeymoons, mini-moons and stag and hen do. So we'll jump right in. So Kerry, how long have you been a travel agent?
So I started back in 2001, had 18 years at Thomas Cook.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Quite a while then.
Yeah, I used to obviously love it, so started at a very young age. And then basically always wanted to set up my own business. So it sort of gave me that little bit of a push.
I was going to say the clothing, did that make you right now's the time, now or never?
I was very comfortable, loved the people I worked with, so gave me that push to go out. And to be fair, everyone has been very supportive. So yeah, since then I set up from home and just been able to just really give a bit more personal experience.
Yeah.
Just more of a one-to-one basis, so I can meet clients now in their home. You know, I'm always at the end of the phone, so 7 days a week basically they can contact me, not just a 9 to 5, which a lot of agents are.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's it. You know, when it from when I've booked holidays, at 5 o'clock comes, you're not getting an answer to the next day. I think sometimes, especially in the evening, that's when you're planning stuff to go, oh, I hadn't thought about that, I need to find out.
I think nowadays people sort of expect that a little bit as well, don't they? Everybody wants like it in their own time, 8 o'clock at night. And actually, I mean, we find if people message late, it's better just to deal with it there and then, and sort of spread your workload over like 24 hours.
Yeah, if you love your jobs and taking what you do, then you don't mind helping people,
100%.
especially get to know them as well.
You do. It's a lot more personal service. So, you know, often people will message me. By the time they've got the kids to bed, they'll sit down. It might be 8, 9 o'clock at night, and I'll get a message come through.
Yeah.
But actually, that gives me time off sort of in the day, so I don't mind working in the evening.
Yeah.
So most people will sort of be like, don't reply now. I know you probably will, but don't, you know, you haven't got to. But I do, because like you say, if you love your job and you see something or you're excited about it, you want to get back to them. And I know if that's me, I'm always thinking, I'm waiting for that response.
Yeah, exactly. So then, as our travel expert, what would be your ideal holiday, do you think?
Well, I would love to go to the Maldives. That's one of my bucket list trips.
Yeah.
I do love. I've been to Mexico 3 times. Absolutely.
See, that's
love
one
it.
of mine. I think.
Yeah.
I think everyone's been there. So it's like paradise. I think that'd be one of mine.
It's
Why do you
nice
love it so much?
because you've got the option of going out as well. So
Right.
it's not just a beach and a book holiday. You've got a resort. You've got trips you can do. So if you want that option of, oh, actually, I don't want to just sit on a beach today.
Yeah.
You can go into the local town. There's shopping malls. There's bars. There's restaurant and things. So you've got a little bit more choice as well to go out.
Is it expensive or is it quite?
It's quite reasonable.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's how I thought it was.
Is it cheap when you're out there, like to buy things?
Yeah, it is.
I'm
You wouldn't need a
sold.
lot of spending.
Yeah.
Mexico.
Do you ladies want to see us in Mexico?
Okay.
That could be our next one.
Yeah.
So then, when talking about honeymoons for couples, what are the main differences? Like when you book, can you just book a holiday, or would you suggest no, we're going to tailor this to be a honeymoon? Like, are there any perks of going on honeymoon, do you think?
Yeah, so what we would always do is, if you're going on a honeymoon, whether or not you're taking the children or you're going on your own,
I'm not
we
taking
just
the kids.
no.
Just so you know.
I'm sorry, you said something like a swear word then.
Some people have no choice.
Yeah.
Some people use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
So basically, we just make a note with the hotel. So what I would normally do is email them just before you go, let them know that it is your honeymoon. So some hotels may often ask just for proof of wedding certificate, just to show that we're not obviously just popping on that it is your honeymoon.
Obviously, no one's ever done that.
No one's ever done that. And sometimes it might just be a bottle in the room, it might be a cake. Some hotels will do like a romantic candlelit dinner on the beach.
Oh.
So it's tailored obviously to the hotel, to what they might offer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never known a hotel not offer anything for a honeymoon.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes it might be a room upgrade. But just that little email and contact with the hotel before, which is what I always do.
Yeah.
Even if it's a birthday, we just pop a note on to say, obviously, celebrating a birthday or an anniversary. You know, some people like to go away often celebrate their first year anniversary as well.
Nice.
So we can just make note of
I'm
that.
sure I could find something to celebrate.
Yeah, there's always a good excuse.
It's Wednesday.
Full of kids. Maybe alcohol.
So then, going on to, there's been a trend moving towards more mini-moon. So what is a mini-moon then?
So very often people may just go away. So depending on time of year they're getting married, if their bucket list destination is, say, for the Maldives, if they're getting married in, say, May, and they don't want to travel straight away afterwards, they might just book a little 2-night break to go the following day or to go that evening from their wedding. have either a little hot tub lodge break for a couple of nights just to
That's
escape.
nice,
Yeah, some people book like the Cotswolds, it's not too far to travel. You know, if they've got to go back to work in between. And then they've got their honeymoon then, their main honeymoon. Either they're saving up for it, because they might have had it as wedding presents, so they can pay it off. And they might just go later in the year. So they might save it and go in January. So when the weather's better to where they really want to go.
Yeah.
And also they've got it to look forward to.
I was going to say, it spreads it out a little bit, doesn't it?
I think I quite like the idea of having like a little mini break and then have like to have something to look forward to.
Yeah. I just know you'd be like, I've got 2 mini-moons, the honeymoon, and then like a big holiday.
I just want to go on holiday. It's been so long.
See you next year.
How am I going to take my husband though? That's the question. Go on my own.
Is that the celebration?
He's not on this one, it's still honeymoon.
So then hen and stag do's, because you can look at those as well, can't you?
Yeah, so I get a lot of hen and stag do's inquiries. So the men normally is something abroad. So very often I've done a lot of Portugal trips, so they might combine a bit of golfing as well as
I was just about to say that.
holiday.
A lot of golf there.
Yeah, so I've had quite a few of those because you can go for 2, 3, 4 nights. So most Portugal is sort of fly daily, so you can be quite flexible with that.
Isn't that interesting that most men go abroad and then most women like, why do we do that? Why don't we like jump on that?
I would
Any
now.
excuse, I think. There is a lot of women that go abroad as well.
Hang on, Couple of hen do's, then the wedding, mini-moons.
Then my honeymoon. I'm okay. My year anniversary holiday.
They know what they're spending on their dress. They're saying
That's a minute.
So you've got, so where would hen do's normally go?
Hen do's, if it's abroad, I've done bookings like Malaga. Ibiza is obviously one of the top destinations.
Yeah.
So again, they'll go for 3, 4 nights, something like that.
Yeah.
Especially if they go sort of earlier part of the year, generally it's a little bit cheaper as well.
Yeah.
So if they have got a summer wedding, they might have the hen party in about May time.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So often that can bring the prices down if they're just avoiding those summer months. Otherwise, they will just book, say, again, a lodge break. So you've got lodges that can sleep up to 8, you know, or even more. So they can book a couple of lodges on site, got their own hot tub. Some of these cottages, you can hire chefs that come in. So sometimes people don't actually want to go out all the time.
Is he hot?
Yeah. Is he naked?
How many clothes he got?
It's a whole different kettle of fish,
Got
isn't
a
it?
proper hen do there, Jeff.
So, what sort of cost do you think hen do and stag do's like per person? Is there any sort of?
Well, if you did a stag do in Vegas, for example, you could go there for 4 or 5 nights for about £800 each, which the men don't really flinch at that. To be fair. Obviously, it's spending money on top, but they can organise that. If you were looking at a lodge break in this country, you could do a weekend lodge break. There's one in Bath, which is really nice, and it's only 3 miles out of Bath. So at the same time, you can also go and do the spa, and you know, if you want a night out, and you've got the option of both, you could do that for like £100 each for 3 nights.
Okay. And do you book anything for them, or do they do that themselves? Like, are you booking accommodation and they're booking anything they want to do on top?
I can email all the restaurants for them. So sometimes I've booked table reservations or spa breaks as well. So I've booked spa treatments in.
You are busy there.
Yeah, like that. Sort me out.
And that's what a lot of people want. They want you to be able to do everything, and it takes the stress away from them.
Well, I've been a maid of honour, as we were maid of honour for each other, and it was the most stressful thing I've ever done.
I feel like it's something you do to someone you don't like.
On top of it, I was pregnant, like 7 months, and I remember getting
Not
to
that
bed.
you complained about it.
Oh, it was really moaning about it. I got into bed in the night, and I remember turning to my other friend, like, thank God that's done, I'm never doing it again. And she was like, no, you do it for me. I was like, you've got a sister? No.
You're obviously very good at it though. That's the
So
problem.
if I'd have gone to you and been like, look, she's getting married,
Less stress,
I think
do
I'd
it.
have done that 100%. Why were you not here? That sounds amazing. So then, in terms of like honeymoons, back to honeymoons, what do you think like the top kind of 3 honeymoons you would suggest to couples if they weren't sure? Like, what's a good starting point?
I would say if somebody wants to stick with Europe, the most popular European destination is probably somewhere, the Greek islands, you've got Santorini and Mykonos. So they're a little bit more exclusive, often like boutique hotels.
Yeah.
Some of them have got private pools.
Nice.
You know, they might only have 10, 12 rooms in the whole hotel, and you can go and experience eating out in the local tavernas. So a lot of honeymoon couples sort of sway towards that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it keeps the price down as well, staying in Europe. So most are bed and breakfast, rather than a lot of hotels now in Europe have sort of gone all inclusive.
Yeah.
So when you're going away as a couple, it's quite nice sometimes to go and experience the local town, and they can actually go and eat out.
Yeah, well, I suppose actually if you've got it all in and you want to keep going out, it's probably not value for money for them. Yeah.
And generally they cater more for adults as well in those hotels, so you don't often have anything for children there. So
that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
You sold it to me.
Kids, if you're watching, we love you really. And then where else would you think then? So where would be another?
If you've got someone that wants to go long haul, so a little bit more of a bucket list trip, you know, before they perhaps start thinking about planning for a family, some people have looked at doing something where if their one partner maybe wants to do something a bit more exploring, so they don't like to sit on a beach, but they also want, you know, the option of relaxation as well. So recently I booked one to go to Singapore and Bali. So you've got obviously the cities, so you've got the Bay of the Gardens, so you can go and explore all of Singapore.
Wow.
And then go off to Bali where you've got loads you can do. So you can just sit on a beach if you want, but you've also got the option of going to the monkey sanctuaries. You've got the jungle swings.
I mean,
you've got
it
all
sounds
the rainforest.
amazing.
So that's quite popular. And you can go there in the summer. So if you've got summer weddings, then Bali and Singapore are still okay for weather in the summer.
Yeah.
Whereas other places, perhaps more like Caribbean, the rainfall can be quite high.
Right.
So that can sometimes put people off going obviously in the summer months. So
which is why they spread it out a little bit as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could just come to you and just say, look, this is what I'm thinking, and then you'll just pick where is best based on what they want to do.
And sometimes it might be completely somewhere different. Like this couple I booked recently had never even thought about going to Bali.
Yeah.
So it might be just something that, you might say, oh, actually, I fancy going to the Caribbean in July. So I'll give you the option of that and just, advise you of what the weather may be like. Yeah. And throw in another option. You might think, actually, I've never even thought about that.
But that's why you come to someone like you, isn't it?
Yeah.
An expert, because that's you want options that you
not
would
just
never
a
think of by
package
yourself.
holiday.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of, they call them DMCs, which are out actually in resort. So we can contact them and they'll often do different things. So it might be exploring a local restaurant and you can go and dine with the locals, or you might stay in a local house for the night. There's loads of different options that you can add in, rather than just a package holiday out of a brochure.
Yeah, exactly.
You can tailor make it.
Ooh,
well, I think that's what makes it for me, why I would possibly do that, because like I say, it is tailor made. Like, you know, like you said, if your partner likes exploring, that's not me. I'm on the beach.
Oh no, see, I'm exploring.
Yeah, you do get a lot of split couples like that though. So I think doing something like that, it sort of caters for everybody as well.
And what sort of cost are you looking at for these? Like, what should couples put aside for their honeymoon?
So, depending on time of year, so if you were going to, say, Santorini for a week in May, June, you would easily get something for around the £800 each. Okay. Obviously, if you wanted to look at room upgrades, which, there's so many lovely rooms, you can... start off at 800, you could easily go up to 1,500 each, depending on what you want. And it's easily done. You just see this room type and you think, actually, that's what I want. I want to see in my own private pool. But again, it's a one-off thing, isn't it? And you want it to be memorable for your honeymoon. If you did something more like exploring Singapore and Bali, again, depending on what you include, it could start off at £1,500 each. If you want everything included with all the trips and all the extra excursions, you want 5-star hotels with private pools, you could easily get something for, say, £5,000. Yeah. But if you said, right, I've set aside £5,000, this is what I want to do, we can tailor it for that.
Well, I'd say then you pick out what's important to that couple then, don't you? Like, right, this is your budget, we'll try and work with that budget. A bit like with here.
Definitely.
A bride comes to us like, this is my budget for my dress, or we're going to try and work with that budget as much as they can.
And they might see another one and think, actually, that's worth the extra. Yes. And that's what we often get. So sometimes it's not even about, I want to be in a 5-star hotel, because I often think you can sometimes get a 3-star hotel that's actually got 5 out of 5 on TripAdvisor. Because it hasn't got those extra gym facilities and all the things that give it the star rating. But you could still get a really amazing little boutique hotel that's only classed as a 3-star, which possibly may be cheaper because of that. But it's actually rated better review-wise than a 5-star.
Yeah, if you're not bothered about those gym and things, then
that's what you're paying for in some hotels. So you can find some really little quirky boutique hotels in some of these places.
I like
which
the idea
are nice.
of that as well, like keeping it nice and small
and it's a lot
cute.
more personal.
I don't know.
I'm going to get you on a plane.
I don't fly.
I'm not sitting with Jem on a plane again. We've already told the story. Jem completely freaks out about flying, don't you, Jem?
No, it's fine. I'm going to try it because Jane's dragging me to Vegas when she's 40.
Yes.
And obviously you've got like 10 years yet.
10 years, maybe 15.
A lot of saving, a lot of planning.
Yeah, it will be. I know where I'm coming though.
Yeah.
Organise it. Don't sit with my Jem on the plane.
So if I'm like, money's not an option, like money is as much as I want, what's the most extravagant thing I can do?
I would say a lot of people do like going out to the Maldives.
Yeah.
So you could have like one of the water villas on the stilts, and you've got some really amazing hotels out there. So you might go out and maybe do Dubai on the way out.
Yeah.
Because you could fly out of Birmingham with Emirates. Have a few nights in Dubai. You could go and eat at the Burj, or if you wanted to, stay at the Burj Hotel, which is the nice big hotel that everyone sort of knows. And then you could go off to the Maldives, and there's a hotel that's amazing. It's got an underwater restaurant.
Oh, wow.
So, and I've had a couple.
How does that
book
even
back
work?
there. I know, it's amazing. It looks amazing. I've got a couple going there in April.
Oh my
Booked it for their
God.
anniversary.
Yeah.
So again, just something special to look forward to. But you can also pre-book all of that in advance. But yeah, probably something like that. And again, you can go off from there. So if you want to, if you've got 3 weeks to play with, you could do a Dubai, Singapore, and the Maldives.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
there's
send it to me. I'm like, oh God, I just want to go on a plane.
There are loads of options.
Just thinking, we didn't ask you this before, so I'm not sure if you do or not, but do you do anything with helping couples to go and actually get married?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I booked weddings abroad. Most popular place, which actually I'm getting married in Cyprus next year. So Cyprus is quite an easy destination.
Yes.
Yeah.
Slightly more paperwork now we're out of the EU. But yeah, you can literally arrange all the flowers. You get a wedding coordinator when you're out there. So we liaise with those before you go.
Yeah.
Just because of, depending on how fussy you are with things, obviously you can still have as much control as you have here.
Yeah.
Some people go out and meet their wedding coordinator beforehand. So if they just, want to go and see the venue, they can. But now there's obviously all different YouTube videos.
Yeah,
you can watch the venue, you can see other people's weddings.
We've had quite a few brides getting married abroad. And
More and more, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the
quite
cost
popular.
of it, they're like, I'll get my holiday.
Yeah.
I'm getting, actually in terms of what they're getting for their money, it is like a thing. And, cuts the wedding list out.
So do people stay there and then have their honeymoon at the same time?
Yeah, so you'll get some people that will come back and then go on a honeymoon as well.
That'd be
So
me.
they-
I'm eating my food underwater.
But you could do that again. So if you've got married, say in May, and again, then you could say, right, we're going to have our honeymoon in October.
Yeah.
So for example, with ours, we were going to get married last May, got our honeymoon booked for December. So it just gives you that option. Some people won't, they'll do it as a budget holiday to say, right, it's cheaper to get married abroad.
Yeah.
We'll go out, we've only got 10 guests, we've got the wedding, and then we're done and we're not bothered because they don't want the fuss.
Yeah.
Other people still want the fuss, so obviously they'll still, have a big party when they get home as well. So you've got the option of that. But sometimes it's quite hard, obviously, when you get married here, isn't it? How many to invite, and it can escalate.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're going abroad, you can sort of restrict the numbers, invite who you want.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking to a lot of brides, we do find that, don't we? That's one of the reasons they do like to, because it's just this, they haven't got to think outside.
Close family, close
invite.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if you give people enough time, next year we're getting married, I think people can save if they want to go.
Definitely.
My mum's gone for a wedding in Mexico, she saved up for it, and it was a big holiday for them.
And that
So I
could be
think
their holiday for the year, couldn't it?
Yeah,
So,
and it's always nice to celebrate something as good as a wedding. But I think what everyone I've spoke to do weddings abroad, they say how easy it is. Like the wedding coordinator just literally ticks all the boxes for them. Said, "Well, now we're going to sort this and that," and they find that less stressful than being here and organising it that way.
But they do
Probably married
everything,
again.
the cakes, so they'll send you pictures of cakes. This is the sort of thing we can do, or you can amend it. So if you send them a picture, so they deal with all the local suppliers out there. So you've just got one contact, they deal with it all, and then we send them all the wedding documents that they'll need prior to travel.
Yeah.
So they've got a checklist to make sure they've done everything within so many months.
I suppose you'll just complete, between you and them, for our couples, you'll just take any stress away, aren't you? They can just go,
All they've got to do is have in their wedding dress box, which a lot of bridal shops normally do as well. So they can box it into a hand luggage bag, take that away with them, keep it with them on the plane.
I'd be like that.
Get a little bit of a tan before the wedding. It'd be nice.
We always say, don't be burning, no
You've
strap
got to think
marks.
about your straps. Make sure you're not. Well, I think that's pretty much it then for today.
Is there anything you think our couples should know, or anything you want to add in?
I just think planning, really. Just obviously, if you've got for planning your honeymoon, or even if it is a hen or stag do, it's sometimes having that idea of a price in mind or an idea of where you want to go, but don't often, you know, narrow it down to that, because you could obviously, like I say, have a bit more flexibility of where you'd be able to go for that price range, or an idea where you might not have thought.
I feel like if I'm coming to you, keep it completely open-minded.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? And then just see what you can offer. And then if you still go back to your plan A, and that's what you want, but at least you've got other options.
And that's what people will often do. So they'll sometimes think, oh, I don't want to keep asking.
Yeah.
But that's all about, I always think, well, even if you do go back to the first option, you could have a look at another 5 just to make sure it's the right one, because it is your honeymoon, it is a lot of money, and you want it, you're only going to do it once. So
it's almost like wedding dress shopping, isn't it? Like they'll try that first one, we'll have a look at other options, but then we might go back to that one. Or it might be something that we bought in as a wild card they buy. So I suppose it's very similar.
Yeah, so you might bring that dress out, just like I might throw in that honeymoon that they might not have thought of. And sometimes they might go for that option. So
and that's why you come and see people like us, to make it easier and smoother.
It's definitely a more personal experience, isn't it?
Well, thank you very much for coming, and I hope everyone's enjoyed.
Thank you.